Now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Leisure versus Rodriguez, step forward.
Timothy Leisure and his son, 18-year-old Nicholas, are suing Nicholas's former friend, 19-year-old Joseph Rodriguez, for tow and impound fees and for crashing a Mustang.
Mr. Leisure, this car was owned by you but driven by your son, is that correct?
It was owned by both of us.
When had that car been purchased?
September of 2017.
And what kind of car was it?
2001 Ford Mustang Coupe.
How much did you pay for it?
I believe we paid $2,400 for it.
And your son drove it for a year and a half or more?
We bought it in the September of 2017, and he drove it until the accident.
Which was on what date?
May 7th, 2018.
You had decided that you wanted a different car, is that right?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez was a friend of yours?
Yes.
And he offered to buy the car, or you asked him if he was interested in buying it?
Yes.
On what date?
I'd like to say it was a week or so, 2 weeks ago before the accident. He was talking to me about being interested in the car.
On what date did he take this car, you say, for a test run?
I would say May 3rd of 2018. No, it would have been May 7th that he picked up the car.
Okay. What happened on May the 7th?
He wanted to borrow the car for work and take a test drive just because he was planning on buying it. So I let him borrow.
He wanted to borrow your car?
Yes, because he was thinking about buying it, so it was sort of a test drive.
He was thinking about buying it, and he took it for a test drive, and you had an accident.
Yes, ma'am.
And the car was towed?
Yes.
Was it totaled?
Yeah, it was totaled.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Didn't you contact the tow company? You, owner of the car, on the title, did you contact the tow company?
No, I did not.
Well, that's foolish. You're the only grown-up in the room.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Timothy Leisure and his son Nicholas say Nicholas's former friend, Joseph Rodriguez, wrecked their Mustang while on a test drive.
Now, did you let your friend know that you had totaled his car?
Yeah, when the accident happened, I texted him right away.
So what did you do?
I let my dad know, and I asked him what he wanted to do because we had to either drop it or leave it in the tow yard, and I asked him to take care of that for me.
He can't take care of it for you. He can't take the car out of the tow yard because it's not in his name. He's not permitted to do that.
Your Honor, when the accident happened, the tow company gave Mr. Rodriguez the opportunity to have the car towed to a personal residence. However, he didn't...
You can't tell me for that. First of all, it's hearsay.
Yes, ma'am.
Second of all, you were notified on the date of the accident, correct?
I was notified a couple of days after the accident.
Well, that's your son's fault.
Yes.
Well, if you were notified, and they are clearly two idiots, why didn't you take care of it and have the car taken before it built up all these impound fees?
Mr. Rodriguez had told me that he would take care of the impound fees and get rid of and have it taken care of.
He can't take care of it because it's not titled in his name.
Right, because we were in the process of selling the car to him.
No. That's wrong. You were not, according to what your son said. He was borrowing the car to go to work, and he was thinking about buying it. Thinking about buying it doesn't give him access to take it out of a tow yard. That would be up to the owners of the car. That would be the grown-up, the only grown-up in the room. That's your problem. But you had an accident with the car. You take care of your own tow fees. He's not taking care of that because he had no ability to go into the tow yard and get out your car or to contact them. Didn't you contact the tow company? Not you. You, owner of the car, on the title, did you contact the tow company?
No, I did not.
Well, that's foolish. You're the only grown-up in the room.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. Bird, I know that this is ancient. Would you look up the value, please, of a 2001 Mustang? Mr. Rodriguez, did you give him any money towards the car?
No.
Is there a reason why you didn't?
Yes, I had. I was paying other bills that I had with court, and I couldn't pay because all my checks from work would go straight to my bills. So I had to pay court bills with other tickets I've had.
You mean while driving a car?
Yeah.
See why you're the only grown-up in the room?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Good.
$239.
$239?
$239.
Judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you very much. We're done.
Your Honor, I have text messages from Mr. Rodriguez stating that he will pay for the entire balance.
$239. You're the grown-up in the room. Go and take care of your car. Somebody who doesn't own the car can't take the car out of towing. Grown-up should know that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Perfect. We're done.
You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I think it was fair.
I was trying to be as cordial as I could.
They swerved onto my lane and I had to avoid it, and that's what made me lose control.
Pay me $50. Show me that you're responsible to get this taken care of, and he never did.
Don't borrow anyone's car.
It's a lesson learned for both of us. We'll just move on.
This should be a wake-up message for everybody out there.
Who's watching your elderly parents or grandparents?
You looked around to see if someone from the agency could fill in for you.
Yes.
How did you find the plaintiff?
We were friends.
Then more troubling signs.
How many days did she work?
I know she was not there most of the time. There was money missing, food stamps missing.
I'm not convinced you worked.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Deanna Clark is suing her former friend, Lori Broyles, for unpaid health care services she provided for Lori's client while Lori was on a trip.
Order. All rise. It's case 220 on the calendar in the matter of Clark versus Broyles.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Miss Broyles, tell me who you work for.
Donna Scheffler,
Individually or through an agency?
through an agency.
You had been taking care of this lady for a long time.
Yes.
And you wanted to go away for a period of time on Mother's Day to see your mother?
To see my daughter.
You see your daughter. And you looked around to see if someone from the agency could fill in for you.
Yes.
This Mother's Day weekend. You couldn't find anybody through the agency.
Yes.
And you found the plaintiff.
Yes.
How did you find the plaintiff?
We were friends.
Do you have any particular training in taking care of the elderly?
Not medical
That's
training.
either yes or no. Either you went to nursing school.
No, I did not
you
go
went
to any
school.
schooling.
Nothing. Do you know if she had any particular training in taking care of the elderly?
No, I know that she was trying to take the steps to become a caregiver like myself.
Good. So she hadn't done anything in order to fulfill the requirements to be a caregiver.
Yes.
But you asked her to fill in for you anyway.
Yes.
And she did. And she wants to be paid for that time that she filled in. So my question to you is, from when to when were you away?
I was away May 13th through May 23rd.
For 10 days.
Yes.
And was your arrangement with Miss Clark that you would pay her for the days that she worked?
If I got paid.
Nah, that sounds ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You mean she worked for 10 days?
She did not.
How many days did she work?
I'm not exactly sure, but I know she was not there most of the time. My witness went to see Donna. He's a friend of hers as well. The 2 times that he went to visit her, she was not there. There was some other guy there. There was money missing, food stamps missing, medicine
Listen to me. I don't
all over
know
the
that.
place.
I don't know that. All I know is you hired her with an arrangement to pay her.
Which I paid her $100 before I left.
Just a second. Well, $100 for 10 days translates into $10 a day.
Right. I was going to pay her more. I was going to give her my wages if I got paid, but she knew as well.
Don't tell me what she knew. Listen, Miss Broyles, I may look dumb, but it's just an illusion.
That's
if you
that's
got
the
paid,
arrangement
if you
that they
got
had with
paid,
me.
listen to me carefully. If you got paid, that would have been because you submitted a time card indicating that you were there for so many hours. That would be the only way that you could get paid. So you would have had to submit a time card to your agency and say, the job was covered for those 10 days, pay me. The agency would have paid you.
Which I did not.
Well, you don't look like a philanthropist to me. You don't look like somebody who would say, I'm going to take out 10 days worth of wages from my pocket to pay you to take care of this old lady. You don't strike me as that kind of gal.
There was never that kind of arrangement. This program gives their caregivers 5 days paid vacation every 3 months. They denied me because it wasn't in advance. So they denied me. So I didn't get, and I did not try to collect those hours from my agency either, because I did not work those hours. I can't work those hours and then give
Just a
her the
second.
money I get for it.
Listen, 5 days paid vacation amounts to how much money?
Roughly $400.
How much did she tell you that you were going to be paid?
$500, $200 before she left, and $300 when she got back.
So she was supposed to pay you $500?
Yes.
How much did she pay you?
Nothing.
Were you there covering the job every day?
Yes, I was. If I wasn't, there was somebody else there while I did do the job outside the house.
What kind of jobs outside the house?
Going to the store, getting ice for Donna.
Okay. Doing your own thing. And who was the guy that you left there?
His name was Mike.
Shh. His name is Mike what? Don't guess.
I can't think of his last name.
What do you mean you can't think of his last name? How did you find him? Who is he?
He was a friend of mine.
You mean you left an invalid old lady?
No.
In the care of a male whose last name you don't know?
No. Actually, he went to get the ice. There was a lady named Diana there that Lori had, I guess, I don't know how she got her in there, but she came and sat with Donna for a couple hours on that Monday. And
I'm talking about the male that was there when you weren't there. When he came there.
Actually, I'd never left him there by himself with her.
You mean you and Mike stayed there together?
No, he was there.
Mike? So he wasn't there at all? I mean, you have to get your story straight.
The thing is, I don't
care whether you've seen him or not.
Okay, but he never came over.
Where did I get Mike from?
I don't remember his last name.
You don't know?
I don't remember his last name. He was a friend of mine. I was overwhelmed, so I called him to help me out.
You were overwhelmed? Overwhelmed with what?
When I first got there Sunday evening on Mother's Day to watch Donna, she was covered in Jell-O. She was soaking wet from
her not being there all day.
Because I was working already. I asked you to get somebody else in there to
Ms.
cover
Clark,
that day.
I am not predisposed to help you. I'm just telling you that.
I don't remember.
I'm not predisposed to help you. I was predisposed to help you until about 30 seconds ago. I am no longer predisposed to help you. I believe that when people work, they should get paid.
Right.
I'm not convinced you worked.
She worked.
I'm not convinced how much you worked. And I'm not convinced that you had the best interests of this lady who was your charge in your heart. Do you understand? So I am not predisposed to help you. And since you can't prove to me that you were there every day for a certain number of days, because you can't. I know you can't. I don't know how much you were there. She says she didn't get paid. Forget her. This should be a wake-up message for everybody out there. Don't rely on strangers to take care of your elderly parents. What? You want to say something to me?
Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed.
Well, if you have something important to say, you're allowed. If you have nothing important to say, don't say anything.
I know that she was there, and Donna needs 24-hour care. It's very hard work to take care of her, and I know that Dee was there every day taking care of her. How do you know?
Just a second. That's very interesting. Stand up.
Okay.
Tell me your name.
Sydney.
Sydney, how do you know she was there every day?
Well, I live right over there, and me and her were actually enemies at that time, but I had to
Can you try to say a sentence for me without the word like in it?
Okay.
Try. And no basically. No basically, no like.
Okay.
Mother's Day. Who was there on Mother's Day all day? The answer is nobody, because she told me she wasn't there. She got there at night.
Yeah, she got there after work. And then she was there every day.
I don't... Sit down. It's not good to get old. It's not good to get old. Not have somebody who actually cares about you, or at least overseeing that responsibility. I think that neither one of you had the best interests of this lady in your heart, even though you get paid for doing that. I'm not predisposed to helping you. Do you understand? I don't know who Mike is. And how dare you leave this lady who is clearly not able to take care of herself. According to Sydney, she needs 24-hour care with somebody whose name is Mike, whose last name you don't even know. Goodbye.
I don't remember it.
Goodbye. I'm finished with you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I would have been more than happy to give her something if she would have done her job. Don't trust your friends.
Now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Mackey versus Burmeister. Step forward.
Debbie Mackey is suing her neighbor, Jeremy Burmeister, for the cost of demolition and trespassing.
Miss Mackey, sometime last year, you got power of attorney over property that your aunt was living in.
Your Honor, I actually obtained power of attorney for her in 2010 starting. The power of attorney that I recently got was in January of 2018 to take care of her as well. So the matters had changed a little bit.
She was living in a house until January of 2018.
She was actually living in her own home until December 24th of 2017.
Fine. And despite the fact that you had power of attorney starting, as you indicated, in 2010, she remained on her own in this house.
Yes, she did.
Does your aunt have any other relatives other than you?
I believe she has some cousins in Arizona.
But other than you,
no,
you're it?
No, I am it.
And so that you would be her only heir to this
Yes.
property. Is that correct?
Yes.
Where is she living now?
She's living with me.
Does your aunt have anybody assisting her?
Myself.
Other than you?
My family.
So she lives with you unassisted?
I mean, she lives with us. I take care of her and my dad. My dad's in a wheelchair. He's 88, so I'm pretty much their full-time caretaker.
Who's with them now?
My daughter.
And where is this property that you took over in January?
The property is in Crockett, California, which is in the Bay Area.
Is it a single-family home?
It's actually a triplex, but she lived in the single-family home. It has a single-family residence above and what used to be the old barber shop of the town on the left, and on the other side, which she uses as a basement or used as a basement, it was the previous dry cleaner many years ago.
And have you had the property valued?
No, I have not recently. I am...
Within the last 2 years?
Your Honor, I've been a real estate broker for 26 years, so I do know the value, but as...
What's the value of the property?
The value, based on the condition right now, is basically about $150,000.
And you have renovation plans?
I absolutely do.
Just a second. The answer is yes.
Yes.
You have renovation plans to do what with the property?
Right now, the permit that I have is to build the deck and to take care of some of the dry rot.
What is your plan? Listen,
okay.
What is your plan for the property?
To rehab it.
And once the property is rehabbed, what will its value be?
The value will be probably about $500,000.
Okay. Defendant is your neighbor. How long have you been at your premises and what do you own there?
5 years, Your Honor, and I own the building next door, the Emporium from 1922.
Do you live there as well?
I do, and it is my place of work. I'm an artist, and it is a live-work space.
There was some stuff that belonged to you, Mr. Burmeister. There was some property that storage stuff that you no longer had an immediate need for. And according to you, Miss Mackey's aunt gave you permission to store the stuff on her property.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, that doesn't exist anymore.
Thank you, Your
Honor. I'm explaining that to you. That doesn't exist anymore.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
How am I supposed to say how much it's going to take to get rid of the junk?
I just want him to get it out of there.
He says it's not junk. Hold on.
Yes, ma'am.
Pay attention. You say it's not junk. You say
And it is on my property, Your Honor.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Debbie Mackey says her neighbor, Jeremy Burmeister, owes for the cost of demolition and trespassing onto her property.
Miss Mackey's aunt gave you permission to store the stuff on her property.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, that doesn't exist anymore.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm explaining that to you. That doesn't exist anymore.
The agreement?
Correct.
Your Honor, thank you.
The agreement doesn't exist anymore unless it's a written agreement. Is it in writing?
No, it is not.
It does not exist anymore. So get your junk off her property. If it's not already off her property, get it off.
It was gone within 2 weeks of my notice.
No, it's not, Your Honor.
What is left on the property?
Your Honor, I have hit...
Tell me what's left on the property.
Junk. Flat out old recycled windows, junk, gas cans, wood, garbage.
May I take a look at it?
Absolutely.
I'd like to take a look at it. And that was as of when?
Your Honor, he had...
Shh. As of when requires a date.
November 6, 2017, and has progressively gotten worse.
Just a second. It was there until when?
Now. It's still there.
That's all I wanted to know. That's it?
That's incorrect, Your Honor.
These are pictures, and they're dated March 25th, 2018. I said, what's there today?
There's pictures in there. Would you like me to pull it out to be specific?
Well, I'd like you to give me what I asked for.
So March 25th is when he started increasing the items.
All I want to see is what's there now. Is this?
Yes.
And this is his stuff?
Yes.
And that's on your property?
Yes. He owns 3 feet of that side.
That's incorrect, Your Honor.
Just a second.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is what you're saying that all this property belongs to you?
Not quite, Your Honor. I'm a visual artist, and as such, I noticed the plethora of photographs that I had for evidence towards this case because there is a dispute.
I don't
to
care about the
property
dispute.
line.
I want to see where your junk is. So
Well,
if you have a
that's-
picture to show me, I'm
Can I show
more than
you on
prepared.
It's easier if I made a little diagram for Your Honor.
No,
and can
I don't
point
want
out
to see a
everything.
diagram.
Yes, Your Honor.
What I want to see is a photograph of your
Here's
stuff.
a temporary wood rack that I created at the beginning of the alleyway. Here's a temporary fence that I made at the end of the alleyway. Here's an above
Just a second.
view.
Is all this stuff in here yours?
Yes, Your Honor. And it is not junk. Those are 1940s to 1920s steel casement windows, valued at probably $5,000 for all of them, Your Honor.
Is this the same photograph that you're showing me with all this junk in?
Yes.
Well, this shows that it's clear.
Probably because he cleared it up. That is not his property line. He only owns 3 feet from his building.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You say it's not junk.
I had all of those items stored for 3 years because of the work that I did to clean up Miss Mackey's
I
failed
don't
attempt.
care.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold on.
Yes, ma'am.
Pay attention.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Debbie Mackey says her neighbor, Jeremy Burmeister, owes for the cost of demolition and trespassing onto her property.
What I want to know is this the same picture?
It's the same junk.
It's not the same picture because I don't see a window.
Your Honor, could I please get the model?
No.
Okay. May
Am
I
I
approach, Your
looking
Honor?
at the same area?
verify. May- I can't tell from back there.
Good. Would you show those 2 pictures to the defendant, please? Just the 2. Is that a picture of the same area?
They are, Your Honor, from a slightly different angle. The image on the...
Shh. It's of the same area?
Yes.
Okay. And this picture was taken when?
If that's my picture, it was taken yesterday.
Got it.
Or, excuse me, Your Honor, Sunday. I'm sorry. We were on the road yesterday.
Did you get an estimate to remove this junk?
No, I have not.
Well, how am I supposed to say how much it's going to take to get rid of the junk?
Well, with the weight there, it's going to be...
No. Listen to me. We don't guess.
I just want him to
This
get
is-
it out of there.
He says it's not junk. Hold on.
Yes, ma'am.
Pay attention. You say it's not junk. You say
And
it's,
it is on my property, Your Honor.
you say it's not junk.
That is correct.
It's valuable.
To me and to other antiques collectors and people
Very
restoring
good.
antique buildings,
You have
yes, Your
3
Honor.
days to get it out of there. Otherwise, she is going to call a dumpster and get it out for you. And I am going to give her the money that she spends to get it out. Do you understand?
I do.
Do you? Good. Because what I'm telling you is you have no agreement to keep your stuff there.
That's a separate amount of stuff.
I want to tell you something. It's not separate to me.
Your Honor, I had all of those items and more stored in Mary Lou's office space, which was the former barber shop, for 3 years because of the work that I did to clean up Miss Mackey's failed attempt. Yes, Your Honor.
Get it out in 3 days, or she's
It's
going to
on my property.
Get it
It is
up.
on my line
Just
of the
a
property.
second. Get it out in 3 days. If it's touching an inch on her property, you have to get it out in 3 days. Otherwise, she's going to call a dumpster, get rid of it, and her bill is going to come back. And I'm going to say, now you're going to pay the bill. It's easy.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
I'm not making any more of this case than it is. What it is you had an agreement with an old lady to use her house as a storage shed. Now she's no longer able to care for herself. So somebody else comes in who's going to make a nifty profit because she's going to be the sole heir of this property at some point when her aunt is no longer with us. You have to get your stuff out. Be a good neighbor. Get it out.
I have been, Your Honor, and it is not on her property. My basement
listen
comes
to me.
out.
That's my ruling. Get it off her property
Yes,
in
Your
3
Honor.
days. Otherwise, she's going to remove it, and you're going to pay for that dumpster because she's going to come back here. We're done.
Your Honor,
Goodbye.
Your Honor.
We're done. We're
Your
done.
Honor.
Get it out.
Will you give me a court order so if it's not out in 3 days, I can have the sheriffs come stand by so
Just
we
a
can
sec.
get it out?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Excuse me, step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Judge Judy, as always, is very intelligent and can test the lie detector right away.
I'm the one that turned on her power, her electric, her television.
Regardless of whether he had an agreement, it's not in writing. And anything in real estate that's a leased space must be in writing.
And her phone when Miss Mackey was absent from the building over the last 3 years.
If it's longer than a year, then it has to be in writing. And we have nothing in writing.
I did not make her roof leak. I did not do any of the things that she's saying, and this is unfortunate.
I don't even know where he's getting that he damaged the roof, because we replaced the roof with building permits.
I hope that God gives me the strength to move forward with this.
I mean, he's just not willing to work with anybody. He's just very spiteful.
Whether or not you hit her garage door, I haven't decided yet. Totally.
Neighbors of different ages face off.
You've never had any trouble with this lady before, have you?
I have, and there's been trouble with others too.
Time to determine the real nuisance.
So he's very bright. He's a smart little boy.
Absolutely.
But he's cunning.
She terrorizes everybody in the neighborhood, and we have video to prove it.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Chayo Moreno is suing her neighbors, Jamar Miles and Crystal Stidham Miles, for damages to her garage door caused by their son and for harassment.
Order. All rise. It's case number 276 on the calendar in the matter of Moreno versus Stidham Miles.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Judge Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat.
Ms. Marino, you and the defendant are neighbors, and it is your claim that their little boy was riding a skateboard and hit your garage door, causing a dent.
That's
You
correct.
want them to be responsible for paying for it. When did this happen?
July 31st, 2018, at about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Tell me what happened.
I was working in my office. I work from home, and I heard this loud bang, and I thought it's a tri-level, so I thought
Don't tell me what you thought. You heard a loud
okay,
bang.
I heard a loud bang. I went all over the house thinking something fell out. I went to the garage. Nothing was down. I opened the garage, and the young boy was standing 1 to 2 feet away, and
Away from?
the garage with a skateboard with him. And
Where was he holding the skateboard?
actually, it was on the floor, but he had the skateboard, and I asked him, Christian, did you hit the garage?
Now, you said his name, so did you know his name?
Yes, he was a very nice boy, a very nice family at the time, and I knew his name.
Okay, so you said, Christian, did you hit the garage door?
Did you hit the garage? He said yes. It slipped while he's doing his maneuvers. And so then I hit the garage because I have a keypad. I brought it down, and there was the damage.
Did you bring something to
Yes,
show me?
I have a picture here.
Okay, may I see?
And there's a few in here.